Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. Well, from one cat to another. We are now joined by Phoebe and Stephen, of course, from the Ottawa Humane Society. Great to have you in studio now, right? You and I were doing virtual interviews for the last couple of years, so it's great to have you here.
Yeah.
Stephen, let's talk about this summer at the Ottawa Humane Society. How was the summer? Must have been busy.
Oh, absolutely. The summer was super busy. We had lots of animals in our care, and we had an incredible need for foster volunteers, and we're still looking for a lot of those foster homes right now.
And I know you had summer camps. You had a lot of kids coming through. You literally sold out in hours. It was like a Bruce Springsteen concert. My goodness.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The summer camps for kids came back after being on hold for the entire pandemic, and kids were running around the shelter. They're all having a great time, and it really was a breath of fresh life back into the building.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, tell me a little bit about Phoebe here, our friend Phoebe.
Well, Phoebe, she's 9 years old, and she is looking for her perfect forever home with her sister Tegan. And now Phoebe's got a couple special needs. You might be able to see on camera, but she's a little overweight, so she's going to need a weight loss plan to help her get back down to that healthy size. And she's also looking for a home without any young children, and that's because Phoebe's just a little bit on the older side, and she needs that calm environment. But outside of that, she's a real cuddle monster. I'm talking, she's going to be by your side. You can probably just see it here even. She loves the pets.
Absolutely. And she has a sister, you were saying.
Yeah, she has a sister. They're a bonded pair, and they love a forever home together.
Nice, nice. Well, let's talk about, you mentioned fostering. If somebody is interested in fostering, what sort of things should they be asking themselves? What are you looking for in a foster home?
Certainly. So fostering is, people might be worried that's going to be a big commitment, like I'm going to be looking after an animal for several months and I'm going to need a lot of time on my hands. But truthfully, some animals don't need that much time in their foster homes. A couple animals are just looking for a few weeks away from the shelter just to give them a little break, let them recover perhaps from a surgery, maybe get a little bit of behavior training, or maybe just to have a little bit of a relaxation from the, oh, hello there.
I think Phoebe just saw something in the air floating, and all of a sudden it took her attention. Adoption's really the big thing we want to, push here on the show today. Talk about the adoption process. What does the process look like, Stephen?
Well, let me tell you, adoption usually starts with you, and that is that you got to take a look-see at what kind of animal is going to suit your lifestyle. So you need to think about, when am I going to be home? Who do I have in my household who's going to be interacting with the animal? Is everyone on board for having this animal? And of course, too, am I going to be able to care for this animal for their entire lifetime? That includes taking them to the veterinarian, affording all their supplies. So once you've figured out those real key questions, you can start figuring out what kind of animal is the right fit for me. And at that point, you can take a look at the Ottawa Humane Society. We have all of our adoptable animals online, so you can just browse through there, see who you like, see who lines up with what you're looking for, and then give us a call, and then we can set up a meeting for you to come and meet them.
And they really have a bio there, right? So you do get an idea of what the personality of each animal is when you go online, right?
Absolutely. We have a little bio that explains exactly who each animal is. So you'd go and see Phoebe on there, and it'd say, oh, she's a co-pilot. She'll follow you around a whole lot. She's a social little creature. Oh, hello, Phoebe. Oh,
I love her. When we think of adoption, right, I think, first thing, obviously, that comes to most people's mind are cats and dogs, but you have other animals at the Ottawa Humane Society. What other animals are looking for adoption?
One of the biggest ones we have right now, and I don't mean biggest in size, I mean biggest in number, we have so many rabbits right now.
Really? And why do you think that is?
It's hard to say exactly. It's possible that maybe some folks took them in during the pandemic because they weren't able to get a dog or something else they were looking for and decided, hey, I'm going to have a rabbit. And then perhaps they didn't realize rabbits need to be spayed and neutered, and then rabbits did what rabbits do. But actually, that brings me to something people might find a bit surprising. When you adopt a rabbit from the Ottawa Humane Society, that rabbit is already spayed and neutered. So we do that procedure for you, and that's a huge value add for that rabbit.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we mentioned, how successful the summer was with your summer camps, but you have other youth programs that happen throughout the year. Tell me about what else you have to offer.
Absolutely. So there's, of course, the summer camps, one of our biggest programs, and then there's also PD day camps. So, your kids got the day off school. Why not bring them to the OHS, see a couple of animals, do some fun crafts, learn a few lessons. It's a great time. We also have our March break camps, similarly very popular, happen over the March break. And we also have birthday parties, tours, and we also have a program for scouts and guides where they get to come into the shelter, do a little tour around, and learn all about responsible pet ownership.
We mentioned adoption and fostering. Are you looking for other types of volunteers as well? I mean, I know that dog dog walking has always been a big part of the Ottawa Humane Society. What else are you looking for?
Absolutely. So we have a whole list of volunteers we're currently looking for. We actually relatively recently started up our volunteer programs again. They'd been on hold for most of the pandemic. And as a result, we have plenty of openings available, and one of which is our canine enrichment program, which is those folks who will go in, they'll get to do some behavior training with dogs, get to give them a little love and attention, really that TLC that can make the whole difference for them.
Nice. And I know you have a pet sitting course as well, right, for young people? Because you often see that. Like, I'm on an email service for a neighborhood, and you'll see, hey, we're going around, away for a week. We're looking for someone to look after our pets, and it's a big responsibility, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's why we started up our pet sitting course. And it's for you who are interested in just maybe on the side having a little business for themselves, looking after their neighbors' pets or what have you. And more importantly, too, it also gives them an idea of what exactly goes into caring for a pet. So they might be doing it towards their business, but they're also learning how to become a really responsible pet owner in the future. So when they do have their own pet, they'll have all the tips and tricks they need to really take care of them and really make a great home for them.
I know you're always looking for donations. You always have events. Those third-party events, I imagine, are coming back. If someone wants to do a fundraiser, I mean, do they just simply contact you guys?
Yeah, we have a whole lot of information on our website for our community events, where that's if you want to run your lemonade stand, your kids looking to do a little bake sale for the animals. We always welcome that sort of thing, and we're happy to show some recognition for it. And in fact, we recently had our Buddy and Bell Awards, too, where we got to recognize all the folks who did those sort of things throughout the pandemic. So they got to come to the shelter, and we had a nice presentation for them. And it's really something special to see how much support there is in the community.
Excellent. Stephen, so happy to have you in studio here with Phoebe. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Thanks so much for having me back.
Really appreciate it. By the way, Ottawa Humane Society, the website, ottawahumane.ca. You can find all of those adoptable pets that Stephen had mentioned. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this. Don't go anywhere.